Hello, and a very good afternoon to fellow guests. I, Lina Amizah, acting as the Chief Editor for this batch of YSF, would like to welcome you to our 10th lecture, which will be presented by Lina Amizah, entitled Attractiveness. Without further ado, I give the floor to today's presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to everyone. So today, I'm Lina Amizah, and I'm from L63. So today, my speech would be about attractiveness. So the thing about attractiveness is that it's such a universal perspective. There is no fixed and universally accepted definition of attraction. But regardless, whatever it is, the foundation is that it captures and takes up our attention. Theorists have attempted to explain the phenomena of attraction, where some have taken an interpersonal approach and others a scientific approach. So the two main things that we will look at today would be interpersonal attraction and physical attraction. So what is attractiveness? So, attractiveness is the quality of arousing interest, being attractive, or something that attracts. This is more of a general definition for attractiveness. And like I said before, attractiveness is such a universal perspective. Anything that triggers our attention or catches it, that's what attractiveness is. So today we'll be looking at the first point, which will be interpersonal attraction. So what is interpersonal attraction? Interpersonal attraction is a relationship between two people characterized by a general liking, but with a range of variations that can include respect, love, lust, and affection. This is not necessarily a romantic attraction, but can be platonic as well. Now, there are many factors that can influence interpersonal attraction. A research conducted by some psychologists had shown that, contrary to the saying, opposites attract, people are typically attracted to people who are similar in attitudes and beliefs. Individuals are attracted to people who make them feel good or that they receive benefit from. Now, a research about interpersonal attraction was conducted by Hartz, a psychologist, in 1996, where Hartz outlines attractiveness theory and research has not only focused on describing characteristics that people find attractive in one another, but also in understanding our responses to these characteristics. Hartz has emphasized that the general literature on interpersonal attraction concentrates on several characteristics: personality, wisdom, kindness, confidence, honesty, and humor that are all thought of as crucial elements in attractiveness. So this is what I said earlier, as Hartz outlines what the attractiveness theory and research. Now, there are also theories of interpersonal attraction. First, there are many different ideas surrounding the question of why people are attracted to some people and not to others. Kruger and Caspi, a psychologist in 1993, attempted to summarize all these ideas, and they produced 5 distinct hypotheses relating to interpersonal attraction. Now, one of them is the similarity hypothesis. This hypothesis suggests that we are more likely to be attracted to people who are similar to ourselves in both personality and attitude. The reason for this may be that we can better understand people who are more like us as opposed to those who are dissimilar. People who are similar to us allow us to verify our own attitudes and behaviors, and there's greater opportunity for reciprocal rewards. In short, we like those people who like us back. The second hypothesis would be the ideal partner hypothesis. Kruger and Caspi argued that this theory suggests that we are more likely to be attracted to certain people who we believe possess certain specific traits or qualities that we think are ideal, such as stable emotions, sociability, or intelligence. It is argued that we all have an idea of what our ideal partner should be, and generally we tend to compare prospective partners to that ideal. The closer to the ideal that person is, the more we are attracted to them. Kenrick and Keefe, another psychologist in 1992, have found evidence to suggest that men are generally attracted to younger women as their ideal, while women are more attracted to older men as their ideal. The third hypothesis is the repulsion hypothesis. The repulsion theory suggests that people are repulsed by people who are dissimilar to them. In other words, it is not the attitude similarity leads to attraction, but rather that dissimilar attitude leads to repulsion. The repulsion hypothesis emphasizes the point that we also actively avoid or dislike people with very different attitudes to our own. As Rosenbaum in 1986 suggests, we first eliminate those people who are dissimilar to us as potential partners, and then we begin to choose potential partners from those who are left. The fourth would be the optimal dissimilarity. According to Kruger and Caspi, the optimal dissimilarity hypothesis suggests that individuals find people who are slightly different to themselves as the most attractive. So, in other words, we are attracted by the novelty in someone slightly different, provided that they are not too dissimilar for us to understand. And now, last but not least, is the optimal outbreeding hypothesis. Now, for this one, it's more into how in the point of view for animals. So Kruger and Caspi explained that the optimal outbreeding hypothesis expands on the optimal dissimilarity hypothesis, and is based on findings that some animals show preference to breed with those that are somewhat, but not entirely different to themselves. Here, the similarity variable has to do with the genetic qualities rather than personality or attitude. And next, I will be talking about the physical attraction. Now, physical attraction is a lot of things, and one physical attraction, before I go through that, let's see what physical attractiveness is. So, physical attractiveness is the degree to which a person's physical features are considered aesthetically pleasing or beautiful. Now, there are many factors which influence one person's attraction to another, with physical aspects being one of them. So, one physical attraction is the golden ratio. Now, the golden ratio is the golden ratio is a geometric proportion that has been theorized to be the most aesthetically pleasing to the eye, and has been the root of countless mysteries over the centuries. Now, the golden ratio is a mathematical formula which is used by mathematicians to quantify attractiveness. This formula is used to find whether or not a person's feature has the golden ratio, in which their faces would be symmetrical, a perfect definition of beauty. Even if we have different cultures and backgrounds, this scientific approach triggers and captures our attention, as this formula shows us no matter how different we are, we would still be attracted to people with golden ratios because it does capture our attention. Now, for my conclusion, attractiveness necessarily isn't about love or like. It's something that triggers and catches our attention. For example, when we hear some music that is quite unique, our attention would definitely be captured. Now, the idea of attractiveness is still widely investigated. As for a more interesting part, if we take a look at a more individual outlook, like some people, for example, some people are attracted to people that are unique. For example, they may not be defined as attractive whatsoever, but some individuals find them attractive. So to conclude my talk, attractiveness has a lot of aspects that are still being investigated, but as we know, attractiveness does take up our attention as well as our cognitive functions. And with that, I end my speech. Thank you for listening. Is there any questions? If there are no questions, and my talk will end today. Thank you for listening.